Rhapsody VII, The Covenant of the Mountains. Chronicle of the Shepherd King, his rise, his fall, and his redemption. In the days when the throne of Israel began to tremble under the weight of its monarch's madness, the Most High looked beyond courts and armies and set his eyes upon the silent fields of Bethlehem. There, among sheep and solitary songs, a young shepherd tuned his harp to the rhythm of the Spirit's winds. His name was David, the youngest of Jesse's sons, and the prophet's oil secretly anointed him as heaven's chosen one, not for his strength or stature, but for the purity of his heart. The test came soon. In the valley of Elah, while a Philistine warrior defied the living God and froze the army of Israel with his voice, David descended into battle armed only with a sling and 5 stones. He fought not for his own honor or glory, but for the glory of the Most High. Without any merit of his own, Goliath fell, because the name David invoked cannot be blasphemed. And so the people's song changed. It was no longer Saul who slew thousands, but David who raised the hope of a nation. The song of the maidens brought jealousy to Saul, who, corroded by the shadow of his disobedience, turned his throne into a trap. David fled to the desert caves, where dust was his bed and exile his bread. Yet even in exile, his sword was never stained with vengeance. Twice Saul was at his mercy, and twice the Anointed One chose to forgive. Thus was sealed his covenant of the mountains, a faithfulness to God stronger than any ambition. On Mount Gilboa, while Israel was struck down by the Philistines, tragedy befell Saul. Desperate and without direction, the king ended his own life, thus sealing the echoes of his rebellion. His fall had been announced by the ruins of the sorcery he consulted, an echo of rebellion against the Most High. David, far from rejoicing, wept for the king as a father, and for Jonathan, his great friend and warrior, as his soulmate. His lament, woven with psalms, was the funeral hymn of an age that was fading. With tears still fresh, David ascended to the throne. First in Hebron, then in Jerusalem, he built not only walls, but praises. He conquered enemies, united tribes, and danced before the ark as a servant of heaven more than as a monarch of the earth. But at the pinnacle of his glory, the shadow of sin arose. From the palace rooftop, his erring gaze led him to a beautiful woman, Bathsheba, and from that desire a chain of pain was born. Betrayed and deceived, Uriah fell unjustly, and blood cried out for justice from the battlefield. Judgment came through the prophet, and the Anointed One was broken. There were no excuses, nor did he blame, only a tearful cry before his benevolent Lord. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and that was the beginning of his forgiveness. But the consequences didn't evaporate. Absalom, his own son, rose in rebellion. The father fled from his throne, like an exile from his own home. The sword he did not draw against Saul, he now had to bear, seeing wielded by his heir. The civil war was bitter, and the victory even more so. Absalom, entangled in a tree by his beautiful hair, was pierced by 3 spears, and his death tore his father's heart. The final years of the Shepherd King were slow and solemn. Laden with glory and guilt, he left behind a heritage deeper than gold or armies. He left songs of repentance, visions of the coming Messiah, and the example that even the fallen can be restored by the Most High. Thus was sealed the covenant of the mountains, not in marble or decrees, but in broken and faithful hearts. For David, with all his humanity, was and will be remembered as a man after God's own heart.